this is what I predict is going to happen. Okay. Of course, this is a prediction based on the information and the facts that I have off of the speculation. Personally, from the facts that I have, I don't think that, Prince and his squad did some kind of insider job. I don't think that. I think what legitimately happened was, because remember, guys, the Migos weren't there with security. They relied upon those guys for protection, right? They're rolling in a foreign city, right? Houston, that's not where they're from. They're from Atlanta. They're there. So they went there with those guys in good faith, like, yo, we're good, right? We're good in the hood. I mean, hell, they had a fucking gun in the middle of the console, right? So that was essentially their security, what you call homie security, right? So I don't think that there was some kind of conspiracy to kill them, all right? Because a lot of people that go through Houston go through those guys and they fuck with them. I don't think that's what it is. What I think was this was a situation of a bad dice game, alcohol, marijuana, maybe other substances being involved, getting people's, judgment clouded, people not making the best decisions late at night, Halloween, people drinking, having fun, blah, 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 getting into an argument, a bunch of bitches around. You know how guys posture up when there's bitches around, right? Wearing barely anything on Halloween night, right? And an argument turned deadly for nothing. That's what I think happened. I was down, Quavo was down reportedly about $17,000, right? Which for someone like him, is it that much money? Keep in mind, guys, Migos are superstars. These guys are not bum rappers. These guys are not SoundCloud rappers. These guys are fucking superstars. Internationally known, millions of followers on Instagram, millions of streams a month, hit records, Grammy nominated. They're lit, all right? People know who the fuck these guys are. So they're getting paid at least, and I say that to let y'all know, they're getting paid six figures anytime they do a show. Automatic. They're getting 100K, 200K. I think Offset made some like $200,000 doing an international tour, right? So these guys pull numbers. So for him to argue, over a dice game, 17,000, and then argue about pickup basketball or, I'm good at basketball, because Quavo does play a lot of basketball, when he's not rapping, right? Celebrity games, etc. like that. They do play pickup basketball. And for this to happen, terrible, bro. Terrible, terrible. And from the evidence that I see, it looked like either Migo Bands or this other guy, whatever his name is. What was his name again? I forget his name.
Lil Cam.
Lil Cam, whatever his name is from the Fifth. One of them, we know for a fact that they had firearms. That's pretty much a fact, and we know more than one gun was going off, right? So unless maybe someone else was pictured that we didn't see shooting guns, but regardless, sad situation. Migo Bands, I think, is going to be the first one to get apprehended more than likely. The other guy is 100% going to be questioned. They're going to bring him in too, right? But at the end of the day, someone's life was lost, and someone that honestly had nothing to do with this, that was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, and idiots that weren't properly trained with firearms discharged their firearms without looking where they were going, and someone died. And that's literally what it comes down to, and it's terrible. And I'll tell y'all this, the police, Houston PD, they're going to do everything in their power to arrest someone. They have an enormous amount of pressure, by the way, just so y'all know. They have an enormous amount of pressure to solve this case, because I hear it's an election. I think it's an election year, right, for the mayor. And then on top of that, rappers, a lot of artists go to Houston to do parties and to also do events, do shows. Okay, Houston, guys, is one of the biggest cities in the United States. For all my foreign people out there, one of the biggest cities in the United States. I think it's in the top 3 or 4. New York, LA, Houston. Okay, some of the worst traffic in the United States as well. So there's a lot of money to be made from interstate commerce of rappers coming in and doing shows, etc. So you best believe that Houston does not want to have the reputation of rappers dying in their city. So they're going to go ahead and make sure that they catch these fucking guys, even if they're a part of the Migos camp, which is why Quavo and them probably aren't going to the police, because I think it was their man accidentally shot him, right? And he's looking at some manslaughter charges. We covered that before. What he's more than likely going to be looking at. So, yeah. And what I foresee is, like I said before, the feds can be involved if he tries to leave the state of Texas after he's been indicted or after an arrest warrant is issued. U.S. Marshals can go get him, or if it's obvious that he's trying to avoid prosecution, right? Because once he's indicted, bro, they're going to call his manager, yo, you've been indicted in Texas. We got a warrant for your arrest. Turn yourself in. If he doesn't come and turn himself in by the given time, right, assuming he's not in the state of Texas, which I assume he's probably not at this point, right, or whoever gets arrested for this, what's going to happen is they're going to go ahead, get either the marshals or the FBI more than likely, get a warrant, federal, unlawful flight to avoid prosecution, because at this point they've notified him and his counsel. He hasn't turned himself in. they can pretty much establish that he's unlawfully preventing apprehension. So now they can go ahead and expend federal resources to go ahead and find his ass, utilizing the FBI or Homeland Security, or whichever agency decides to, cut the paper and get a warrant on him federally. So it is what it is. That's what I predict is going to happen. And then the ATF can come in for the ballistics, which I wouldn't be surprised if they don't already have the weapons and or at least know the bullets, the caliber, and they aren't already in the process of either getting those guns, finding those guns, and or conducting ballistic tests right now to be able to verify which gun actually killed him, which I explained to you guys earlier, which I'll put in the timestamps, how the police are able to identify a weapon that was used in a crime based on the bullets found at the crime scene versus the gun being fired independently, and comparing the shell casings and the groovings on them, which creates essentially a fingerprint for the gun.